Today we dive into one of the most complex and tense regions in the world, where the interests of the United States, Israel, and Azerbaijan intersect, with Iran at the center of strategic pressure. The conflict here is unfolding rapidly and covertly, yet the consequences of every move are felt globally. Iran is actively expanding its influence through proxy groups in Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, and Iraq, while keeping a close eye on the South Caucasus, where Azerbaijan and Armenia are under scrutiny. The United States, as Israel's strategic ally, maintains military bases in the region, enforces sanctions, conducts intelligence operations, and applies diplomatic pressure, aiming to prevent Iran's rise and protect its allies' interests. Israel, seeing the threat posed by Iran's nuclear program, operates covertly through intelligence, cyber attacks, and preparations for preemptive strikes, creating a potential chain reaction that could turn a local conflict into a regional crisis. Recent strikes and escalating tensions in Azerbaijan add unpredictability, as the country is strategically important for oil and gas, and its geography makes it a key player at the crossroads of Russian, Iranian, and Turkish influence. Looking ahead, several scenarios could unfold. The first scenario is a regional war. Israel strikes Iranian targets, and Iran responds through Hezbollah and other proxy groups with drone and missile attacks on U.S. and allied bases. Azerbaijan becomes involved, defending its interests or reacting to Iranian pressure. In this case, a local war could quickly escalate into a full-scale regional conflict with global consequences, including rising oil prices, migration crises, and increased terrorism. The second scenario is a hybrid escalation, where instead of open warfare, the main tools are cyber attacks, drone strikes, sanctions, and limited military operations. Iran continues to pressure Israel and its allies through proxy groups. Israel carries out covert strikes, and the U.S. controls the region remotely. This scenario could last for years, draining the economies and resources of all parties and creating a slow-motion war. The third scenario is a diplomatic turn. International pressure from U.S. allies, Russia, or China forces Iran to ease its activities. Israel temporarily holds back from strikes, and Azerbaijan returns to political negotiations. This scenario creates a temporary lull, but strategic interests remain, and the conflict could flare up again at any moment. Every move by the players now is critically important. Iran is expanding its influence and military capabilities, including missiles and nuclear technologies, to make Israel and the U.S. take it seriously. Israel operates covertly, using intelligence, drones, and cyber attacks to weaken Iran before a potential war. The U.S. controls the region remotely, supporting allies and influencing economic and political processes. Azerbaijan has become a new geopolitical focal point where any mistake or unexpected move could trigger a chain reaction. If the conflict spirals out of control, the consequences will be global. Interruptions to oil and gas supplies would sharply raise prices. World markets would immediately feel the tension, and drones, missiles, and cyber attacks would become the main instruments of warfare. Russia and China could also expand their influence through regional interests. Every action by Israel, the U.S., Iran, and Azerbaijan not only affects local conflicts but shapes the balance of power in the Middle East and South Caucasus, which in turn impacts global politics and economics. The situation is critical because regional players are actively building capabilities to exert pressure, and peaceful solutions are only possible through careful diplomacy. However, even the smallest mistake or overly aggressive action could trigger escalation and a chain reaction, the consequences of which would be felt worldwide. The conflict in this region can be compared to an iceberg. Most of it is hidden beneath the surface, but the consequences are visible and tangible for everyone. In the coming months and years, we can expect a combination of hybrid actions, localized strikes, and diplomatic maneuvers, which will determine whether open war can be avoided. Every new move is not just politics. It is a strategic game over resources, influence, and security, where the stakes are extraordinarily high. Understanding these processes allows us to see the true picture of the modern world and understand how the hidden decisions of leaders shape global geopolitics, the economy, and security. Thus, the conflict between the United States, Israel, Iran, and the recently involved Azerbaijan is a modern iceberg of global politics, where most of it is hidden from view, but the consequences of any clash are felt worldwide. To stay informed and understand what is really happening behind the scenes of global politics, subscribe to the channel and follow